Hello. Hello, beautiful people. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you for tuning in. My sincere apologies about Friday's broadcast. I was caught between the jaws of the old Facebook Live and the new coming Facebook Live that's going to replace it. And in fact, this morning, despite my best attempts, I'm not sure how well you're going to hear me. So if anybody's out there right now and you can tell me if you can hear me, that would be awesome. I'm going to be using the audio of my computer, not my first choice, but that's the only option I've got. So what I'd like you to do as you're tuning in is follow the movements and the feeling in case you can't hear me. But for the moment, good morning, Priyanti, can you hear me? Just going to check and see if anybody can hear audio. Ah, sounds great. Okay, very good. Might be a little bit fainter when I move back, but by then we'll all be in sync. So glad to be back with you and thank you for tuning in. Let's take a moment to center ourselves. I need it too, very much with the new tech. So feet on the ground, feeling the ground, even wiggling the toes. Hips on this chair, wiggle the sit bones softly a little bit to be very aware of the feeling of seated, being seated. Grow through the crown of the head and rise up so that the spine is like a beautiful mountain or column of light or channel like a flute so it can play beautiful music. Any image that is delicious for you is going to raise the vitality of your cells and your hormones and your just every cell is going to vibrate in a new way. So we've established a beautiful posture and a beautiful spine and a soft smile. And now let's inhale and gently raise the shoulders up. And exhale, let them melt down, let them melt down. And inhale, raise the shoulders up. And let them softly melt down. And one more time, inhale and exhale, relax. Stay tall and just rest and feel. Let yourself breathe and take your time. We're in a little sanctuary where we have all the time we need and we can soften and slow down our breath and we can really feel into our bodies and our body's responses to everything that we're doing. We're going to warm up the hands a little bit by rubbing them gently and lovingly, and sending love with our eyes as well, deep appreciation. And we're going to clap the hands to create a bright sound. And now we're going to gently knock the insides of the heels of the hands. Palms up, knocking the outer edges of the hands. Thumbs, sides of the thumbs. You can have your hands pointing down. I'm just raising them where they're more visible to you. Then tuck the thumbs in so that you can knock the inner borders without including the thumbs. They've had their turn. And breathe, just enough to wake up. Gentle knocking, not a banging. Now we're going to take the backs of our hands and we're going to knock them against our thighs. You can stay seated for this. I just wanted you to see what we're doing. And now the web between the thumb and the index finger. We're going to knock this very important area. And then change the hand on top and continue. Now we're going to do the webs of the fingers. So lace your hands together through the fingers. Bring this to a close and then change the finger on top reroute all of the other fingers. And now shake it out. Shake it out, nice and loose. Really shake out, so loose through the wrists, relaxing. As though you could gently shake the fingers out, just giving the fingers a little bit of extra space. See how that feels. Notice any tingling. And one more little piece. Buenos dias, Enen. Nice to see you here. We're going to gently milk each finger, lovingly, lovingly. Less is more. So sometimes we have the idea, and it's prevalent in our North American society, that more, if we pull more, if we massage harder, we're going to release more. That's not the way it works, not in my world anyways, and I feel better now in my life that I've let go of that way of thinking. So gentle, you want to feel, the body is a sensitive instrument, and then what we want to add is awareness with our breath and love, love from our hearts and with our eyes. So as you're gently milking each finger, you're appreciating, you're just using enough force, and I use that in a very specific way, enough force with the other hand, just that you feel, and you're creating a little bit of space, a little bit of space. So let's continue lovingly making our way through each finger, and then a little bit of a massage in the palm, the center of the palm, the mound of the thumb, and then a little bit around the wrist, just gently, lovingly. Let's see how that hand feels. So we warmed up both hands, but we've done a little bit more deeper dive into the one hand. Just breathe and see if you notice a difference. And you may or may not. Don't worry. Don't stress. No stress. Stress, gone. Mind, very calm. And so now we're going to gently and lovingly massage all of the other fingers. You can start with the baby finger. You can start with the thumb. Doesn't matter, but lovingly and gently with a little bit of a light twist, a little bit of a milking, twisting feeling, and a tiny squeeze at the nail of the finger bed and the tip of the finger. Just a little hello there. And once you've completed the fingers, let's do a little massage in through the palm. This palm area is very important in every healing lineage, laying on of hands, which essentially we're doing for ourselves in the tapping and the massage. So lovingly opening up this area that receives chi and also transmits chi. And then a little bit through the wrist, a little bit through the wrist, just lovingly. And then let's rest our hands. You can put them in your lap, or you can rest them on your thighs. Feet are planted, sit bones are planted, spine is growing. And softly breathe and notice whatever sensation you're experiencing, whatever type of connection you're personally feeling in your hands. And deep, relaxed breathing. If you'd like to come to standing for the tapping section, that's a nice way to vary the position. If you'd like to continue it seated or start seated, stand later, do what feels right with your body. And remember, in these sessions, it's even wonderful to lie down if you're tired and simply listen and breathe. Listen and breathe. So I'm going to stand up. The sound may be a little bit weaker or lighter because of the audio situation today, but we will do our best, and I will trust that the Spirit will move through. So we want to plant our feet. You can't see my feet, but I want to be a little closer to the mic. So planting the feet and growing through the crown of the head and feeling that beautiful connection. Imagine a plumb line of energy that comes through the crown of the head, through the pelvic floor, and down to the ground between your feet, and allow your body to line up on that plumb line. Keep the feeling of having a bungee cord attached to the top of the head, and now begin some easy bouncing, or maybe for you it's a vibration. We want a release in the ankles, relaxation in the feet, the knees, the hips, the spine, shoulders, wrists, elbows, the neck, even the face, and make sound if you like. Oh, if any of you want to take your arms up or one arm at a time, you can have lots of variations on this depending on how you feel, what your energy is like today. Remember, we move along a spectrum. So the spectrum can be very small, close to stillness, or the spectrum can be very big, and there's everything between those 2 points. So there's something to suit every mood, every constitution. Keep it nice and loose as you let the shaking subside, coming down to a natural finish. Keep that feeling of being suspended through the crown of the head, and keep the knees nice and relaxed here. We're going to move into twisting. You can take the first few twists looking straight ahead, not freezing the neck, but generally maintaining a forward gaze, and then allow your gaze to move with the natural momentum. Let the eyes take a smooth scan of the space above the eye line. If you wish, you can lift the back heel and get more of a pivot in the hips. That's sometimes happier for the knees. And keep breathing. Keep breathing. And we'll let this also come down to a natural finish. The more and more I practice these subtle healing arts, the more I feel that less really is very powerful. So it doesn't take much to wake up those channels of sensitivity in the body. We don't have to bang at the body. We don't have to hurt ourselves. We don't have to push ourselves. We just have to stay focused, present, and sensitive. And the best way to do that is through the breath. So let's take hands linked over the belly. Feel the breath filling the belly center, front, back, sides, up and down. And feel the breath on the exhale leaving the belly. Inhaling, filling the belly. Exhale, emptying the belly. And find a pleasant rate for you. We don't want to get dizzy. We don't want to be under breathing or over breathing. It's perfect for today, and it'll change day to day. And now with those nice hands that we've woken up, you can look at your hands and send your love through your eyes and heart into your hands. And now let's begin some tapping. Tapping over the breastbone area. Tapping, feeling the tapping, receiving, soaking the tapping in. Put one hand down and tap a little bit back and forth across the chest, and then 1 or 2 rounds through the breast tissue or chest tissue. Lifting the hand up, leaning away a little bit up and down into the armpit, under the arm, into the elbow, under the forearm, to the wrist. We get to clap again. And then coming over the hand, fingernails, back of hand, boosting circulation, waking up connections over the shoulder, and maybe even boosting the arm. See how much more reach I get? This is me reaching, and this is me with a boost. If that tip helps you, please use it. Shoulder, neck area. And let's swing that out, move around a little bit, see if you feel a shift, the arm that's been treated, the arm that's going to be treated next, and just notice what you notice. Sometimes we rush from one thing to the other. We want to take some time and feel. And return to the hello, boosting the lungs, the thymus on top of the heart, even sending some loving appreciation to our heart. Very hard working muscle. In fact, so specific, it's like a generator for the body. It has its own cardiac muscle, different than the muscles that move our bones, different than the muscles in the organs. Cardiac muscle. So wow, thank you, cardiac muscle. Thank you, heart. Cupping, one hand on the hip, the other hand cupping back and forth over the lung. And then leaning forward, circling over the chest or the breast. Lifting the hand up to create space in the armpit. It's a hello all over the body. Hello all over the body. And then coming from the armpit down the back of the arm, under the forearm, into the wrist, matching the fingers and palms. And then coming up the back of the fingernails, the fingers, feeling, receiving, over the shoulder. And if you like that boost tip, you can use it. Maybe your arms are already a longer length and you can get around more comfortably, or those of us with shorter arms or stiffness, we can do this. And then just let that go. Feel that. Do a little happy dance, do a little wiggle. Any of you have pets at home, that little wagging of a dog's tail, shaking things out, birds that shake their feathers. So now we're coming up and down the throat, and use the flats of the fingers. I like to think of this as butterfly wings. Liberating the throat, clearing the energy field for self-expression, coming up the sides of the neck and peace signs so that one finger taps in front of the ear, the other behind the ear. And then just over the shoulders, you can pat a few more times in case you have any muscle tension here. And then coming up the back of the neck and across the base of the skull, up and down. And let's go all over the head here, all over the head, coming up the back today, all over the scalp, all over the brain area. And also visualizing that this is clearing the brain, clearing the two hemispheres, clearing the communication, awakening the pituitary, the pineal gland, the hypothalamus. You don't even have to know what's in there, but just that everything is getting refreshed with this tapping that we're giving ourselves. Tapping over the forehead, the third eye, the forehead eyebrow center. And then coming to the corners of the eyes, gently tapping underneath the eye, coming up the bridge of the nose, tapping over the eyebrows, very lovingly. Then tapping the temple area, yawning, and tapping the chewing muscles. Take one hand and tap between the upper lip and the nose. Other hand tapping between the chin and the lower lip. Then shake out through the hands, shake out through the hands. And we're going to clear that energy that we've shaken up. Inhale, brush the hands over the face or just a half an inch beyond and let that go. Inhale, clear. Exhale, let that go. And one more time, clear and let that go. Now cupping around the abdominal area, patting with cupped hands. Sending some love and appreciation into all of the internal organs that work so hard behind the scenes. Relaxing, breathing. Coming around into the kidney area in back. And you can make some sound here if you feel inspired to. And then we're going to move into the outsides of the hips and the buttocks. You can even use loose fists, backs of your hands, whatever is more comfortable for your body. And then coming down the outsides of the legs. As far as you can go, continue with your visualization if you can only go a certain distance. If you can go all the way with your cupping, please do. Over the tops of the feet. Coming up the insides of the legs. Up to the tops of the thighs. Lightly over the groin area. Getting even lighter and lighter over the pubic area. And then finishing by folding the hands, resting them over your low belly. Once again, feel your feet. Feel the crown of your head rising. Put on a soft smile. Feel whatever sensations you're experiencing in your body. And breathe. Fill this whole belly area, front, back, sides, above and below, like a big ball of energy expanding. It even continues outside the exterior of your body. Now we're going to inhale gently up the right side and exhaling down the left side. We're smoothing and soothing the digestive organs as though we're oiling our body with healing ointment. Penetrates the skin, goes deep inside. And let's go in the opposite direction. Slowing things down. This is very soothing. We want this to be feeling very soothing, calming. And we're going to do a little lymphatic self-massage. So the touch is very delicate. You almost want, with your sensitive hands, to almost create a tickling feeling, almost like eyelashes or a butterfly wing, or as if you're stroking silky fur. So we're going to stroke from the fingertips up the arm and bring the lymph back to the pump of the heart. Just very delicately, and keep breathing smoothly. Just want to keep breathing naturally without any stops or obstacles in the breath. And now up the palm of the hand and the tender inside of the arm. Take that hand up, you can even rest it on your head, and now from the elbow through the armpit, around the breast and behind the collarbone. So we're adding a little swirl, clearing the armpit, breast, and any way that you do this is fine. You can swirl in a different direction than me. So we're just bringing all of this energy back in to the heart where it can pump the lymph. The lymph system removes the waste materials in our tissues, so it's good to get that clear. And just notice how that feels for you. And let's begin the other side. Very quiet inside. Front of the arm. Armpit, a little swirl around the breast and then behind the collarbones. Remember, whatever way you want to swirl is fine. You just want to end up behind the collarbones, pouring that back in. And relax and feel. And now the sides of the breast and the chest have a lot of lymph nodes. Even if you've had a breast removed, you need lymphatic massage more than ever. There's a chance that lymph nodes have been removed, and even gentlemen can benefit from this because men can get breast cancer too, so circulation of lymph is extremely important. And let that pour up and behind your collarbones. We're going to go now to the feet, the extremities. So once again, we're moving towards the heart. So bending one knee, touching the foot. If you can't touch the foot, just work where you can and imagine that you're brushing the foot. You'll eventually feel energy emanating from your fingertips. And until the time that you feel them, your mind is going to fill that in. So we're drawing the energy up very gently, that same light touch. Eventually coming further and further up the leg into the whole pelvic half. And then let's do the other side. starting at the toes, little by little, carrying the flow a little further. And finally, coming all the way up, get the pelvic half included with the leg. And pause for a moment and see how that feels. Now we brought lymph up, so there's also a lot of lymph nodes in the groin area. So guide that energy up and behind the collarbones, where it can pour back into the heart. And there's only a little bit of lymph in the back flow. Most of the lymph is close to the surface of the skin in front, but we want to do the area from the sacrum up as high as you can comfortably reach. And again, lifting up. And now we're going to do the neck and upper head. So calm, gentle breathing, like we're always doing in these sessions, is considered lymphatic breathing. It helps to pump. We're going to cross our fingers over our shoulders, and now we're bringing the lymph from the upper back and the base of the throat. We're bringing that, starting to bring that, pouring in. You can come up a little higher along the neck. I'm going to sit down so I can be a little bit closer to you. You're welcome to sit down, or you can continue to stand. Keep changing which hand is on top. And now we're going to take the fingers just up behind the ears and pour all the way down the throat, like oil pouring down behind the collarbones. Lots of lymph nodes in the neck and the throat. This is probably the area that you notice might get a little bit swollen at times when your lymph is working for you. Okay, and now just letting the face, very, very delicate. You don't want to pull the skin, but just gently touching the skin all over the head. Any excess fluid that may have gathered in the face, that kind of puffiness we can get. It's nice to take the glasses off for this. Just imagine all of it draining out, going back towards the heart. That's going to pump all of that waste. All the waste products are going to leave, and they come out through things like our urine, our sweat, so that we're left nice and fresh. And we finish with a few more passes, drawing just from the throat and behind the top of the shoulders. And let's finish by resting the hands just over the heart and the collarbones, the high heart area. And smile into the marvel of our wonderful bodies, that we have all of these systems that do so much for us behind the scenes. How wonderful to have a way to influence and honor our lymphatic system, especially in these days when we're concerned about having beautiful, radiant immunity and resilience. And let's finish either standing or seated by taking those loving hands and sliding them down and letting them rest cupped over the low belly. Feel your connection to the sky above through the top of your spine, your connection to the earth below you through your feet that are awake. Breathe gently and deeply. And notice how you feel. Notice the effects of your practice today. It's a subtle practice, so we're listening for subtle effects, maybe in breath, in mood, in how you feel your body, or in any way that it comes for you. So take a moment and feel whatever benefits you've received from your practice today. And take a little internal snapshot so that you can bring this energy back to mind and into your cells at any time you need it, because we cultivate this and it's remembered in our cells. And the more we practice, the easier it is to return to this beautiful place that is our true nature. I wish you a beautiful day, and thank you so much for joining, and many, many, many blessings.